that we saw in early September. In New York City, the number of kids in hospitals with COVID increased fivefold over a 3-week period.
I'm going to watch the news and play some guitar.
And a doctor in Chicago says the number of young patients at children's hospitals has quadrupled. And this is all happening as the education department stresses the importance of safe, in-person learning.
This is such an extraordinarily contagious virus. It's getting not only adults, but it's getting down into children, spreading among men, and even if the proportion of children who get serious illness,
they won't stop talking about COVID. This is more COVID-19. On the right hand of the screen, they've got the hospitalization 7-day average. They say 61.8% of somebody has been vaccinated. That's obviously some subset of people. It's not 61.8% of 300 million Americans or 330 million, whatever it is. It does sound bad though. But they're exaggerating. It's still only the number 3 cause of death.
That's why there's this growing concern about hospitals getting overwhelmed with patients.
And this new one's less deadly, so.
Aurora Health took out a full-page ad saying we can't stop COVID.
Hospitals are, I don't know. Emergency rooms are just busy. It's like the military, that you know that you might get slammed someday. It might go crazy. And they've been dealing with this for 2 years. So lots of people probably that could take their job if they want to take some time off.
Simply because they had to expand into different areas of the hospital to provide ICU care. People with COVID stay in the hospital an extremely long time.
And the most coveted gift of the holiday season.
I think I had this dumb virus, and I did not go to the hospital or take any drugs, and that was fine. It's kind of a long story. It's just like a bad cold that lingered. Americans waiting in long lines for COVID testing. I can't really see if I were to get any cold, I would just isolate myself. So I don't know what the point in getting a test is, just to put a name on it. If I'm ill, I want to behave a certain way that I've always behaved, and that's get away from other people and heal up, get sleep, hydrate, eat lots of good food, all that good stuff, exercise. That's what I did anyway when I caught this stupid thing. And I went away in a week or two, and then I had a relapse for another week or two. But that was because something I did. So, and also I had a fungal lung infection the whole time too. I don't have it anymore. But I had it when I think I had COVID back in January of 2020. Or just the coronavirus. It wasn't like full-blown COVID for me.
Police say the suspect was fatally shot. Unclear if by police.
I knew 3 other people that had it in Maui. It was going around. I think because their proximity to China and the large tourism population and stuff, that they flowed over there early.
Spree take place is not normal for our community. We cannot lose sight.
I ended up leaving at the end of March, so I wonder how everybody is. 2 of the people that got it were elderly people, but they were plugging along, man. They were homeless too.
In custody or to stop this spree.
One lady, the old lady, she had a really bad cough, and as soon as she coughed, I remember I got up immediately and to leave the store. I was at Down to Earth in Kahului, and you can buy organic food there, then go sit upstairs and get online. For like a half hour or whatever. They have electricity. And we were plugging in, I think. But I remember I had just gotten over it. and she sounded like death warmed over, like super congestion. So I popped up like the minute she did that and left. So much so she even said something to me like, oh, I think it's better now, or like, I'm over it or something, but I'm like, yeah, okay. I think I said hydrate or something, or I just bailed really, really fast.
Still up for you, the use of deadly force by the LAPD under scrutiny this morning.
I probably had an immunity to what she had. I know I caught it in my friend's car and he had it. I remember the exact time I got it and everything, and he was sitting behind me, and I was in his driver's seat for a few minutes there. 15 minutes maybe. Must have been his germs on the steering wheel and everything, and him breathing behind me. But so then, and also this other old homeless cat was pretty sick. I was telling him how to relieve his sinuses, and I did it. This is a weird story, but like if you push on the roof of your mouth with your tongue, right, like that, if you do it for long enough, if your sinuses are full of phlegm, they'll drain. It's kind of nice, actually. So I told him how to do that because we were both sick, and then just immediately after I did it and showed him and told him, I went and slept and laid down, and then so when I woke up, all that damn phlegm had gone out of my head and was back in my chest, and I literally got a relapse that way because I wasn't standing up to spit that crap out. So that's how I had to fight this COVID nonsense twice. Because I got it the first time at the end of January, or the only time or whatever. Yeah, it was directly a relapse from that moment. There's no doubt about it. Like I said, I know when I got it too, exactly from him and then. He said he thought he was over his cold, and I hung out with him, once or twice a week, or whenever. And so, like, I could tell he wasn't over it, but I figured whatever, it's just a cold, and I'm pretty strong and healthy, and who cares? Because I could hear his congestion when he said that. I had not anticipated sitting in the front seat of his car for a few minutes. That was the new. He had to do something in the back seat. So that's how I got the coronavirus. Somebody must have given it to him. I don't know who. I should hit him up and ask him if he knows who gave him that virus. Because now I haven't talked to him. Since then, there was an outbreak at Maui Memorial Hospital, and it was all over the islands.
Officers, you'll remember, were
correctional facility.
In a Burlington coat factory store in North Hollywood last week and fired several shots. One of the bullets went through the wall of the dressing room and struck the girl in the chest. Her parents will speak publicly today. CNN's Kyung-Hwa has more. Laura Hall, this is video from the perspective of the Los Angeles Police Department. The LAPD released body cam footage, 911 calls, as well as store surveillance video. I'm not informing you that the video you're about to watch may be disturbing. In the store surveillance video, you see a man acting erratically. He's carrying a solid bike block. He's attacking 3 random women. One of the women who strikes her, pulling her by her hair, strikes her again until she is bloody. Officers entering the store were arriving to multiple calls of a possible shooting in progress. They saw the victim as well as the attacker, and then they fired.
14-year-old girl was in the changing room behind the wall that was behind the suspect and out of the officer's view. She was in the changing area with her mother.
That's crazy.
And the officers encountered the suspect and the officer involved shooting occurred.
One of the bullets from the police department slipped off the floor and went through the drywall into the dressing room.
Los Angeles Police Department went into a department store with automatic rifles looking for a man with a chain
and they were
and ended up shooting a 14-year-old girl.
did not recover a gun. Valentina, just 14,
That's ridiculous.
died from gunshot wounds to the chest. Paula, Laura. Shamrock, thank you for that report. And Russian troops pulling back from the border in Ukraine ahead of talks with the U.S. A show of goodwill or ploy. CNN is live in Moscow.
With Mucinex Olive, you've got powerful relief from your worst cold and flu.
With more talks between Russia and the U.S. set for next month, the White House is tracking reports that thousands of Russian troops have finished their drills near the Ukrainian border and they're back at their permanent bases. CNN's Nick Robertson joins us from Moscow this morning. Nick, good morning. Why would troops leave now after months of ratcheting up tensions with Ukraine?
Well, Russia's perspective on this is that all of those troops are not there to ratchet up tensions with Ukraine. They've been there for regular and routine military exercises on Russia's territory, which they say is their prerogative and is not designed to send, a threatening message to Ukraine. So what Russia's saying right now is that 10,000 of those estimated suddenly 100,000 troops
This was mechanized infantry units, it was combat units, it was special forces units back at their base. So that does leave a question about, well, what about the other remaining 60 to 90,000 estimated Russian troops that are there? What's going to happen to them? Are they also going to wrap up their drills and follow back to base? The diplomatic track does seem to be open right now, while the United States is observing and trying to figure out, has Russia really moved these troops back to base, and does it appear to be permanent? Has the equipment gone with them? All of those are key military questions. And the diplomatic channel is opening up. The Russians are now saying they're looking at January the 10th for a meeting with U.S. officials. They're implying that there's an upcoming meeting with NATO a few days after that, and other European security organizations in the days that follow that. So Russia's on this diplomatic track right now, but we've heard from our deputy foreign minister today saying that he believes that these talks won't come to a quick conclusion. He's concerned about some of the issues that they say the United States is also putting on the table, as well as Russia's concerned about the expansion of NATO into Ukraine. So all of that is still in play, and I think it remains unclear what Putin and Ukraine's final intention should be. Have 10,000 troops gone back to base? It seems to be so. What does it really mean? That's an open question.
Always great to have your analysis. Thank you. In China, the city of 13 million people is under lockdown, reporting the most daily COVID cases for the city in China since the pandemic's original epicenter of Wuhan in 2020. CNN's Stephen Jay is in Beijing with more. Stephen, what are you learning?
So far, just to put things in perspective, the record-breaking number we are talking about is 75 new locally transmitted cases reported in China on Monday. Obviously, a small number in any country, but here in this country, it's a huge deal because of their continued insistence on a zero-COVID policy, especially ahead of the Beijing Winter Olympics, which is less than 40 days away. That's why authorities in Xi'an are doubling down on their strategy of mass testing and mass quarantine. But they say the kind of alarming numbers is only to be expected as they continue to conduct
Chinese city under lockdown and worst outbreaks since
a lot of the
Wuhan.
new infections or close contacts with previously confirmed patients, so these numbers will stabilize and start decreasing. And they say this whole outbreak could be over in a month or so. With the spread of the virus being stopped, and the citywide lockdown remains.
I wonder if it has anything to do with the Olympics that are supposed to be there in China.
The cancellation of all domestic flights since last week from the city's airport, which is one of the country's busiest aviation hubs.
I wonder if there'll be more variants after the Omicron one.
So the city's top officials saying that's what the city needs right now, come to a complete standstill for the government to focus on its containment efforts, something obviously only possible in a global system like China's. Paula.
And not clear is working. Thank you so much, Stephen, for that report. Right, now to this. The UN is calling for an investigation into a reported Christmas Day massacre in Myanmar that killed at least 35 people. That's according to the humanitarian group Save the Children. 2 of their workers remain missing. Photos of the charred remains of victims in torch vehicles are circulating on social media. Activists say more than 1,300 people have died since the military government seized power on February 1st. And more outrageous behavior in the skies. A woman caught on video punching and spitting at a man when she couldn't get to a seat. This brings us up to midnight. Absolutely happening at Thursday. He woke up every day to help people up the hill. And now I'm back. This is a reminder.
Yikes. I should figure out which key this is in. Just take a minute after. I have to grab my book.
has died at the age of 81. Richard Marcinko was the first commanding officer of SEAL Team 6, the unit formed in 1980 that would later carry out the operation that killed Osama bin Laden in Pakistan 10 years ago. Here he is talking about military tactics on CNN back in 2012.
We've come just light years in technology and how we fight wars these days, and just as important is the fact that now we have integral intelligence built into the units that support and target things like bin Laden.
Marcinko's family says he died of a heart attack. He was 81. A country divided, it seems, even on the weather. Some areas are seeing record heat, while other places are facing bitter cold. Here's meteorologist John Gallagher.
I know, it's record heat in the south, record cold in the west.
Notice that cold air that's been in place on the western U.S. gradually shift farther and farther towards the east, and especially 1/3 of the U.S.
They call this south. It's kind of like the whole east.
Around the west, there's no doubt that incredible
Maybe not.
Sierra, the Wasatch, towards the way towards the Cascades, and portions of at least 11 states underneath winter weather advisory. And you'll notice that
this is unbelievable how much snow fell.
200 feet of snow observed in the month of December. Previous record, 179 feet. Of course, a lot of this will translate to drinking water for folks across California with the snow melt in the spring. So great news there. But how about these temperatures? So great news.
Yeah, it's
parts of
overall.
Montana and Wyoming, 10 degrees below zero. And then you look at what's happening across portions of the coast, southeast, parts of Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, 70s, 80s, widespread. All of these are getting into record territory as well. Upwards of 200 record classes to the end of this week. This is severe weather later in the week as well.
Around, thank you. Early start continues right now.
I like her tone of voice.
Good morning, everyone.
She goes, the one time that she gets to smile. It's tough to be a newscaster, man. Because it's like that. Can't be too cheery because some of the stuff is like really sad. It's about death and suffering and stuff like that.
You now need to isolate for only 5 days.
It's funny, Laura Jarrett looks like she could be 20 years old or she could be about 40 years old. She could be like 15 years old. Just kidding. She looks like a grown woman. But she has some real like endearing childlike qualities to her that are kind of unique.
The motive for the shooting is unknown and the investigation is ongoing.
Some people like, I think they mature slower than others. And they look younger longer. Or just forever.
That's newly released LAPD body cam footage showing the moments leading to the police shooting of that 14-year-old girl. Valentina or Elena Peralta was in a dressing room when a bullet apparently passed through the wall, fatally striking her in the chest. Valentina's parents will speak publicly today.
Imagine if she started like smoking cigars like non-stop and pack of cigarettes a day and her voice changed to gravelly.
Note to the judge on Monday requesting transcripts of Gregory Parkinson's testimony. The former crime scene manager for the Palm Beach Police was involved in a 2005 search of Jeffrey Epstein's
King's
home.
voice or something.
A fourth college bowl game canceled this season because of COVID. On Monday, Boise State Broncos pulled out of the Arizona Bowl.
That sucks.
Canceling it. The Military Bowl in Annapolis.
I think this has nothing at all to do with the players, which is interesting. I think this all has to do with some of the people in charge of the fans.
Where the Robert E. Lee statue once stood in Richmond, Virginia. It will be open this afternoon.
I know the athletes will die from it.
Show what could be inside. Details on
They're not afraid of it.
All right, turning back now to our top story. The significant change from the CDC officially revising their recommendations on how long you need to stay at home if you test positive for COVID.
Hawaii was supposed to play in a bowl game, and they
CDC
just
now
got
says your isolation period
got
is
canceled
cut
because of the
from
COVID.
10 to 5 days. This change, regardless of your vaccination status, by the way, was made after scientific studies show the majority of COVID transmission is coming during the early stages of the illness. The change also comes at a crucial point when workforces across the country feeling the pinch of staffing shortages.
This is a country that's ripe for
With the
paranoia.
sheer volume of new cases,
Paranoia,
that
trusting
we
their
are
own
having
people,
and that we
assuming a bunch of
expect
stuff.
to continue with
That's what Americans do
Omicron.
best.
One of the things we want to be careful of is that we don't have so many people out. I mean, obviously, if you have symptoms, you should not be out. But if you are asymptomatic and you are infected, we want to get people back to the jobs, particularly those with essential jobs, to keep our society running smoothly.
The new advice from the CDC not only could help the economy running, but may also help avoid hospitals becoming overwhelmed with COVID.
Something's not right about the CDC.
One of the interesting things we're starting to see during this surge has been very different than the first surge.
First of all, it's a misnomer. I hate misnomers.
Were COVID. This surge, we're seeing a lot of sicker patients that had.
It's almost like an
delayed care
oxymoron.
because of the concerns that went on, and now we're also starting to see a number of patients presenting.
You know what I mean? Because they're not controlling any disease. All kinds of people die from diseases. Most people die from a disease. I think. Heart disease, lung disease. Some kind of disease people are always dying from. I think I told them the other day they're doing a terrible job at preventing disease deaths.
First, I want to get your reaction to these new recommendations from the CDC. The CDC
Kind of like PETA. I told them the other day that they were doing a lousy job of protecting animals. Jesus Christ, do you know how many people eat animals and how many animals are eaten all the time? It's like PETA's not even trying.
Is it a smart move?
It gets a maybe from me. I think the science is strong with regards to why this should work, but it requires everybody to make sure they are playing by these very strict rules, and there's two parts to those rules. First of all, you have to be asymptomatic.
Maybe they can unite with the climate people and just go to show the pet owners that feeding their animals meat is not necessary. Their animals could eat all kinds of other stuff.
Because we know from the
Besides
data that
meat,
the
and that's
majority
like
of
really
cases
bad
are
for the
exactly
environment.
what was previously stated. The most virulent period is early on. However, there are some cases that can get transmitted later on, and that's why that second half is going to be so very important. As long as we are careful with our essential workers and make sure that people are
organic vegetarian dog food. Since I'm an organic vegetarian,
to get back to work if
I
they
would
are in
buy
fact
that for my dog,
symptomatic,
definitely.
then this is a great thing. This is helpful for so many people who want to quote unquote get back to our normal lives.
Yeah, but the concern, of course, is this is a place that does not have universal paid leave. So the quicker that some people can get back to work, the more they're going to be incentivized to try to do that. Sorry, good job. No, it's a great point. As for kids, we know the pediatric COVID cases are skyrocketing right now. So what
See,
are
I'm
they
going to live a whole lot longer than the
saying?
average
This
lifespan.
appears
That's
to be
damn true.
different from previous surges. Is it? What's
So
going on
it
with
makes it
some
real
of
hard to
these
trust
kids
these
right
these idiots. There are people to die like within a few more decades, or expect them to die in a few more decades, anyways. Or sometimes not a few more decades, anyways.
Concerning number that we are certainly approaching. I will say that
What was I saying?
my top 3 infectious diagnoses during my last shift
People
were
knocking on
COVID,
death's
and
door
then
that
respiratory
expect us
syncytial
to be
virus, and then a terrible stomach bug that is going around. You know, in the Northeast and the Midwest, the pediatric numbers are definitely climbing. I will say that the feeling of the ED was different. There was many families who were sick, and they were bringing their child in because they had taken a rapid test at home.
I think a lot of people didn't live to be a long time because they had a crappy diet
This is
because
very real
they
now.
didn't know how to
So many people kind of relied on kids
eat everything they needed, or they couldn't grow it all or
many
find it.
interpreted it as
But
kids
when
don't
they
get sick.
were able to
That
figure
was never
that
the
one
case.
out,
We always knew that children could get sick. The severity
People
of
got
the
pretty
disease
smart.
was less. However, the numbers are just quite high right now of children becoming ill with COVID-19.
So, doctor, as all of this is happening, in just a few days, kids are going to be heading back to
proteins
classrooms
together
in
and
person. If you are the
everything else
parent of an unvaccinated
fire
child, and I have a personal
coming in.
interest in this, how should you approach your child going back to in-person learning? My son, for instance, is going to have to test 48 hours before he goes back to school. You think that's enough?
They should really respect
Well, I think
people's
it needs to be a multi-pronged
privacy.
approach. That's always been the thing with this
It's such a
pandemic.
personal
We don't
issue
have
to
one
getting
quick
shot
fix.
with a
And the
needle.
good news is that
And
school-age
vaccination
children,
record,
5
and
and
now
up,
it's like
for
a
the most
public
part, they can now be vaccinated. So if you have
public
a
issue.
5-year-old
People
child
ask
or
me
older,
sometimes.
take this week and get them vaccinated. At least get that series started. There are so
I
many
wouldn't.
opportunities to
You
do that.
don't have to tell anybody if you're
But when
vaccinated or
your
not.
child heads back,
And I heard a good
everybody
answer.
is
Somebody said
making
I
some smart
wouldn't tell you
decisions
even
during
if I
the break,
was,
and
or
then that's
something
kind
like
of
that.
48 hours leading up
So
to
kind of leaves
school
it
being
up
back
to
in
history.
session, kind of laying low at home, decreasing exposure, so it decreases your
said,
chance of bringing COVID back
I
to the
wouldn't tell you
classroom.
even if I
And then we
was.
need to see children in high quality, well fitted masks. There are a lot of cool masks out there for children that fit very well, that are either the kind of the surgical grade quality, or even a KN95 mask. You want your child in a
There's like no limit to
fitted
worry, you know.
mask.
It's
And
kind
of
of
course,
crazy.
watching very, very closely for symptoms. Rapid testing is now a great addition.
I think some of this comes from the lack of education people have, you know, with the human body.
12 hours. But I think that schools have
Because they're saying people can spread this without
with
even
safety
knowing they
guidelines,
have it.
masking, distancing, testing,
And people
that
are
they will
shocked,
keep kids
you know,
in
are obviously
school safe
dying
and
by the
successful.
thousands.
My household has been basically
Something, there's a
doing
disconnect
mobile
between
tests
reality
at
and
this point.
what these people
Dr.
think is
Elizabeth Murray,
reality
thank you
that
so
are
much for
dying,
your work.
apparently.
Appreciate having you on.
You know? I've been wondering about that for a while. Are some people just totally underestimating how healthy they are? And they just think they're a hell of a lot more healthy and they'll be just fine, and then they end up dying from this? Or are they lying about their health to everybody, or lying by omission, and they're really just like have some very serious health problems?
Good morning, Paula and Laura. With
They're
coronavirus
dying
cases
by the
skyrocketing
thousands,
across
or
the
what?
country, President Biden on Monday huddled with the nation's governors to get on the same page about the spread
But that's quite a
of
phenomenon
the
if that's
Omicron
true.
variant. The president
People
making
like
clear to those governors that he will get them
just
all the support
hiding
that
all
they
their
need.
health
They
stuff
just need
or
to
acting
ask
one
for it.
way or
But
being
what
totally
he also did
ignorant
during this meeting was
of-
acknowledge what has
of their
become an
body.
obvious failure to meet that coronavirus testing demand across the country.
All I'm saying is I'm not getting vaccinated, and I don't recommend it. The only time I would probably think about it is if I was like maybe very old and had like a bad precondition or something, and if I was not around people ever, and I was just all secluded and once in a while came out or something, I was worried about it. But even then, I don't think I would do it.
The president
I think I'd rather just take my chances with my immune system.
ramp up the supply of coronavirus tests and the availability of testing across the country, signing a memorandum authorizing emergency funds of the Department of Health and Human Services, setting up more testing sites across the country in partnership with state and local governments. And in a sign of just how fast-moving this pandemic and the federal government's response to it has been, we saw the CDC on Monday shorten that isolation period. The president, just hours before that, had said that he would follow the recommendation of his medical experts if they advise a change to that.
This is sad, it's depressing.
Earlier on Friday, President Biden said
Every
that
time I
he
turn
would
this
not
on,
get
it's
the
sad and
recommendation of
depressing.
his medical experts to shorten that period. Beyond, of course, the science evolving, it's also clear that there are economic implications here. Those airlines, for example, that have had to cancel flights, they've been putting a lot of pressure on the government and other industries to make
It's really a shit show if you think about it like this. Like they're just ignoring their climate.
We've obviously been talking about COVID all morning. The cases of the flu
You know what I mean?
also spiking across the United States.
I think a big part of this that they keep going on and on and on about COVID is these liberals think that if they don't, then they've got to move on to the climate.
Because more people were wearing masks, and we had more
And
indoor
they're,
capacity limits and
a lot of them are still part of the problem.
Now, researchers say
Burning
one of
fossil
the main
fuels.
flu viruses has mutated.
Because this is how they should be acting
May
towards
not do
fossil
much
fuels.
to prevent infection, but,
You know.
and this is key, getting a vaccine should prevent severe illness, whether it is the flu
These
or
people that are pushing
And back on
vaccines
the
are
ground,
acting like
the Justice Department is closing
they've
out
got the answer
2021
and they're
with a
doing it
survey.
right. They're the reason, you know. It's funny. When I became houseless in 2012, I became an environmentalist pretty fast. Just because it was so disgusting out there. And then it really changed my mind and enlightened me quite a bit, living outside to all the filth. And so it's always been a pollution problem to me and not a climate problem. You know. So anyways, yeah, it's the fossil fuel emissions that are destroying the planet, not COVID, this virus. But these people on CNN, you know, they can't talk about two things at once, so they get a lot of money from these companies, I'm sure. And the whole climate catastrophe juggernaut shame machine is not quite in place yet. But I just saw something yesterday, the day before, on Twitter about them doing climate lockdowns and a rationale for it and everything. I don't doubt somebody's thinking about doing that. It seemed that way with the COVID lockdowns anyway, because people were off the streets. But they're in their homes still. So I don't know. You know, when I was in Hawaii, it had never been that clean, man. Oh my God. I had lived in Long Beach in 2012 and moved to Hawaii a couple of years later. And it was just so much cleaner there and nicer there. It was amazing. But still, nonetheless, it was dirty. A lot of filthy tourists there, all driving, especially in Honolulu. Oh my God. I was hit on my bike a whole bunch of times too. But when COVID hit, and I was in Kauai in April 2020, everybody got off the streets and everything. So I was like the only one in this tired condo complex. And I could hear the waves crash from the condo. And I just went out for groceries pretty much, and that's about it. They made me wear a mask. In the grocery store, they threw me out without the mask, and I said, okay, fine, I'll just wear them. It was the first day that they had just started making people wear them. And I didn't know how serious they were about it. But the mayors there, they took care of a lot of the COVID preparations and responses and all that stuff. There's one governor and a series of mayors across the islands. I knew when I moved there that there was a curfew. Kauai had a 9 p.m. curfew that they enacted. I moved there from Maui. And Maui was just starting to all get shot to hell. It was all locked up and locking up down. They were pulling the furniture out of the shopping malls, so you couldn't even sit there to get online or whatever. My gym, 24-Hour Fitness in Kahului, closed down forever and never reopened again. Since then, March 2020. And so it was getting real weird. I holed away for a few months in Kauai in that condo. And then I headed out. I wasn't afraid of the virus or anything. It was just an opportunity that I had, so I took it. It was real nice and it's beautiful. So I don't know. I hope I didn't give it to anybody. And I know I didn't get it any times either that I went out on the street and off the street and back on the street. So I think I probably got some natural immunity from that time when I got it. And since I'm always around lots of people, so it seems that way. And I never wear a mask unless I have to. I think I get plenty of germs, and my immune system is strong.
Another case of ugly behavior on the airplane.
This is crazy. Come here, this lady hits this guy. This was a weird fight. I wonder how this guy got under this woman's. Well, I heard him. Some people are hiding the fact that he called her a bitch.
She's seen on video hitting
But still, she didn't have the right to
and
slap him
another
and
passenger
scratch
on a
him.
Delta flight from Tampa to Atlanta.
Then that's criminal
So
action.
this all started
And on a plane, it's like
Cornwall
a federal
asked
offense.
for help finding her seat. The flight attendant told her just grab an open one until the drink service was
So
finished.
that's why the FBI
To
got
which
involved when she
Cornwall
landed.
responded, quote, "What am I?
That's not like a regular crime,
This
just
is all
like
according to a complaint, by the way.
actual
And the
FBI
passenger
things.
told Cornwall that that was inappropriate.
Now she's facing like,
It escalated from there.
if I'm not mistaken, I think she's facing
a
like
prison
a,
and a $100,000 fine, according to the FAA. There have been nearly
I read
$5,800 unruly
$200,000
passenger
fine
incidents
and
so
like
far in
20
2021.
years in
Most
prison or
of them
something.
mass-related. I think saying unruly is sort of putting it mildly at this point, Paula. Right? People need to calm down. Have some peanuts, a drink, and
They might give
chill.
her
It's
a
not
lesser
that long.
sentence.
You can't even get a drink now, but maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Maybe they need to give people money. Family doors.
It was funny. I read an article that told me the whole story. Then I read an article that told me half the story, and then I saw the video, a part of the video, and then all the video. But apparently, this woman went to the bathroom during drink service, and then she came back, and I think her name is Patty something, Patricia Breton or Cornwall, and she used to be a cheerleader or something, and she posed for Playboy, and she was in Baywatch, and that was a long time ago, so she looks young, but she must be in her 50s, I would imagine. But the guy she slapped was 80, apparently. But apparently she was drink service, and they told her to sit down in an empty seat after she went to the bathroom. And then she said, "What am I, Rosa Parks?" And then the old guy said, "No, you're not black. This is not Alabama, and you're not on a bus." He said that to her. And so that's what set her off, I guess. And then, like, it looked like I was reading about this. Some of it's hard to hear, and I was reading the text of it. I think they both called each other a pussy, and then she called him a dick, and then he called her a piece of pussy. It was a pretty odd exchange, and I don't know why she didn't just think, okay, he's an old man, I'll just let it slide. You know, if it was an old lady, I would let it slide. Just think, okay, she's probably just having a bad day or something. I'm not going to pound on some old person. That's crazy. Maybe she was on drugs or something. Some people take stuff to change their behavior before they get on. If they drug tested her. But it looks like that could be like felony assault. And federal is all different, so who knows? Just have to be a federal attorney.
Since the start of November, more than a dozen have been killed, scores injured, and tens of thousands forced from their homes.
What's my point there is the bridge over there. It's crazy. It's like the sea. There was a wave almost 2 meters high.
Water now stretches as far as the eye can see. Homes, roads, cars, and land partly or entirely submerged. In the wake of devastation, one of the town's mayors blames human-caused climate change.
We know rain can be seen as a blessing, but that because of the ecological imbalance that we, human beings, have caused, there can be too much of it, causing serious damage.
While heavy rain in northeastern Brazil is not uncommon this time of year, local leaders say this is the worst in recent history. According to weather officials in Bahía's capital, December's rainfall is already 6 times greater than average. And as rescue operations continue, emergency crews work to find anyone who may be trapped, hoping to stop the deadly rains and claiming another life.
But according to CNN's weather team, there are some localized areas in Bahia State that could see an additional 4, even 5 inches
we've seen cancellations already. Boise State, the latest team, forced to miss out. They were supposed to play in the Arizona Bowl against Central Michigan on Friday. Arizona Bowl officials trying to scramble to find a new opponent for Central Michigan, but they decided instead to take the Sun Bowl slot that was vacated after Miami had to withdraw due to those COVID issues. So Central Michigan is going to now face Washington State and El Paso on Friday. The Arizona Bowl is canceled. In coordination with the CDC,
I was like if it was like your senior year.
for those without symptoms who tested positive for the virus, the NBA is now going to allow vaccinated players.
Some people have like an awesome game and they get picked up by a college and get a scholarship or something. Like another college. They get seen by like a little. Or they get seen by an NFL team and then they get drafted.
In the meantime, the NHL returns tonight after a week-long COVID hiatus. 3 more games were postponed yesterday. That's now 70 games that have been impacted so far this season. And the NFL confirming 96 of its players tested positive for COVID yesterday. More than 100 players have been placed on the league's reserve COVID list since Christmas. So it's happening all over the place. The Saints had 20 players on the reserve COVID list last night against the Dolphins, and it certainly showed. Ian Book, the Saints' 4th starting quarterback of the season, harassed all night long by the Dolphins defense. He was picked up twice. He was sacked 8 times. Jalen Waddle had a really big night, 92 yards receiving, a touchdown on a misdirection play as well. So the Dolphins win at 20-3. They've now won 7 straight after losing 7 straight. No team in NFL history has had a streak like that in the same season. Pretty wild. And a wild one here at last night's Hornets-Rockets game. Christian Wood trying to throw a cross-court pass. Look at this. He missed it so badly. Two-handed overhead chuck, and it hit an unsuspecting woman in the stands. He couldn't believe it. Now, the fan would be okay. She seemed to shake it off pretty well. He said on Instagram after the game that he would offer the fans courtside seats to a Rockets game of her choice. He had 16 points in the loss to Charlotte, but that right there, Laura and Paula, is the play that everybody's talking about this morning. I'm just glad that she was okay. That's not what you sign up for when you go to a basketball game.
No, not at all. But she handled it well. She shook it off.
Like a chance.
And now she gets courtside seats. Not bad.
It's a win-win.
Not bad at all. Thank you so much. Thanks, Kelly.
I hope she saw it coming. That would have sucked to see what. Like not paying attention, getting hit by a basketball. It was a good throw, like right towards the guy. It was just too high. But you gotta throw it higher sometimes.
The Virginia Department of Historic Resources says the copper box weighs 36 pounds.
Eventually we got down to the bottom where we found all this harder material.
Big old racist time capsule.
Fabricated, it was harder to
I'm
move.
afraid to know what's in there. Jesus. This is this guy.
So eventually we got
This is a big African American guy with a beard.
and the capstone slid off, and there it was.
X-rays released by the governor's office showed what could be books, buttons, and even ammunition from the Civil War inside. If this all sounds familiar, a similar container was discovered almost 2 weeks ago when the statue's 40-foot pedestal was being dismantled. Inside that lead container, an 1875 almanac, 2 withered books, a coin, and a cloth envelope. Curious to see what's inside the new one.
Very good. There you go. That's the most innocent part of the whole thing.
Wedding band find its way back home.
Interesting.
Bob and Katie Mann.
Yeah, we should know there's gonna be some dignified stuff. But that guy, it would have been funny if he said, then we took it all and we burned it. It's right there, that dumpster, and we set it all on fire.
I see a gold ring, and I said to my husband, I go, that looks like someone's wedding band. And all I thought to myself
That's right.
when
There's
I
probably
saw
people
the
right
ring
here
was,
related
oh
to
my
it.
God, what if it was my ring or his ring? You know, I would want someone to try and find a way to get it back to me.
Not to mention he's my fraternity's spiritual founder. I don't know how he's capped Alpha Order's spiritual
the couple got in touch with Heiser and described the inscription on the ring. That was key. Heiser sent them the ring just in time for Christmas.
They asked him if he had lost a ring. And he said, no, he took with me. I don't have my ring on it. Must be, he thought it was bad and we couldn't find it. But it was just great that they would follow through like that.
I think they were going through some windows.
Heiser says she now plans to get her husband's ring inscribed just in case. Sometimes social media is used for good. I like it. Absolutely. Those inscriptions, they can come in handy, as we've seen. Well, thanks for joining us. I'm Paula Reed. I'm Laura Durrett. Great to have you, Paula. Your day is next.
Alright, I think I'm gonna